Hello everybody, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If you are seeing this, it is meant for you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading for the collective, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, everyone, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. All right, 8 of Pentacles. We are starting new things today. I actually need to start my timer so I don't, this doesn't become an hour-long video. I feel like we're starting new things. I feel like the Ace of Pentacles is us ready for, ready for the next step. Yeah. I think that, you're someone who has your things in order. You've got your supplies, you've got your preparations, and I think we're ready for whatever comes next. Okay, they say that the most difficult step is the very first one. Okay, journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step, that sort of thing. So maybe that we have a long road ahead of us, but I think that together we can make this journey. And we can take this first step. Yeah. Let's put this card into some context and see what's going on. See what we are doing, see what we need to do, what other energies are involved. Here we've got the 4. The 4 of Wands. Very good card. The 4 of Wands is sort of the realization that we've completed a cycle. Okay, and maybe we're having a difficult time taking the next step in some aspect of our life. And the next step may even be the first step. We're beginning a new journey and it's just kind of like not really sure we want to or we're ready, we're having some resistance to it. The 4 of Wands is here to say, look, the old thing is done. We've already completed that task. This is a merry-go-round. We need to get off of it now. Here's the Ace of Swords and the Sun. And the Knight of Swords. The Fool, yes, the Fool, very good. The Fool, I think, is someone that is just kind of emptying their mind, emptying their heart of worry, and trusting and moving forward and taking this next step, beginning this new journey, this new quest, right? And I think it's a journey, a quest of transcendence. I think a lot of you are kind of, doing something for the first time, let's say. Okay, let's keep going here. We've got 10 of Cups, very good. 10 of Cups, the Lover's card, 6 of Cups, and of course we've got a Queen of Wands at the end here. There could be a romantic component to some of this, okay? And again, if you're here and you're watching this, you're meant to see it. So I know a lot of people have a resistance to any kind of a romantic vibe in the readings. And it's sort of become a running joke now on the channel. It's sort of an inside joke. When I first started the channel, anytime I would start to talk about romance, I'd get a lot of comments from people that just really didn't like that. They didn't like yet another romance reading here on YouTube, Tarot World, And so it's not that I shy away from romance readings. As you know, the love, romance, connection, our intimate bonds with people, those are an important part of the story here. But as I always say, these are life readings. It's not a career reading. It's not a romance reading. It's not a spiritual reading. It's not a money reading. But those things are part of life. And sometimes one or other might be a little bit more prominent, right? But these are life readings. And in your life now, the Fool is headed toward the Lovers. The Fool is becoming the Lovers, okay? So it might really be, despite any sort of inner resistance we feel to it, it might just be that, hey, I'm going to take a shot here. I'm gonna do it. The Fool is gonna just. It's almost like we kind of have stage fright, you know. And the Fool has no stage fright at all. The Fool is not really aware that anything's even going on. They're just sort of dancing around, having a good time, stumbling into one thing after the other. But the rest of us, you know, kind of have a little trepidation when we're doing something unknown. We're doing something for the first time. We're stepping onto a new path. We may have a little nerves about it, right? But the Fool is that kind of energy that says, all right, look, you know, just close your eyes. Just let it go. Let your heart and your mind go. Just empty yourself of all of that, and then just step forward into this and do it, because the Lover's card is saying that it is a choice. But the Lover's card is saying that this is you connecting with something in your environment that is meant for you. Okay? This is about your relationship with your environment. This is the feeling that you belong here, that you're right where you need to be. This is the path for you. And it may be a long journey, maybe not. But it's bringing you together with the object of your heart's desire, your soul's desire. It's a soulmate situation. It is a true love situation. This might be the ideal relationship, you know, and we could be talking romance here. Okay? We don't have to be talking romance. Okay? This could be, it could be anything else. It could be your sense of purpose. It could be the Fool is out here trusting in the process in a way, free of all worries and all doubts and all concerns, and is just walking this way, taking a chance on something. Could be a partnership. It could be a family member, a friend. It could be a lover. It could be a new work situation. It could be a new environment. It could be you going and thinking of a new home somewhere, right? It could be you committing yourself to a new purpose. This is the card of commitment. The Fool, despite all the worries, is committing itself to this choice, right? And it is a choice. It's a choice for you to commit to this wholeheartedly, not holding anything back. You know, the worst thing is for somebody to agree, say, yeah, okay, I'll be there. But the whole time they're there, that you can just tell like they don't want to be there. You know, like someone says, yeah, I'll help you move. Then the whole time they're helping you move, they're just complaining and making these little passive-aggressive comments. We don't want that, right? We want to be all in. You agree to something, you commit to something, and you're there. You're fully in it. I think it's where you need to be. Okay? Anyway, let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. I'm sorry if you can hear the vacuum upstairs. My wife is doing some cleaning while I finish this. I wasn't going to do a collective reading today, so I think she probably thought I was going to be done filming today. But I sort of have a little bit of energy left, and so I said, let's do another collective reading, because I think they're useful. I think that I think they're a good thing. You know, brings us sort of all together. All the different signs, all the different factions, you know, are sort of coming together in one reading. And I think it's important information anyway. So, mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card, random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We're going to set it down right here with Bubo, the Mechanical Owl. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If you have a prediction for that card, put it in the comments. If you you think you might know what it is, don't hesitate. Put something in there down below. Okay, let's look around the room. Major Arcana. What do we have? Well, we've got the Enlightenment, the freedom of the Fool, the transcendence, the beginning of a new journey toward this commitment. Okay, and I think the Sun's really important because it helps you to realize. I think it is a realization of your past, present, and future. Okay, I think the Sun card in the past is trying to refer to some past life energy for you. Okay, that I wonder if this is a situation. Now, this feels familiar to me. I don't think we talked about this in the last collective reading, but one of you in your sign readings had this sort of energy somewhere. I can't remember what sign it was for. But the Lover's card here and the Sun back here kind of tell me that what's going on with you right now is the fulfillment of a past life love. Okay, that this was either a person, either a true love, soulmate kind of thing, or an opportunity, or some sort of purposeful combination of forces that went unrealized in a past life. And you're getting that opportunity now in this life to fulfill this. Okay, so if you've done any past life work, that's going to be very useful to you as you navigate this current quest. Okay, it is bringing you into contact with this energy again that we, for whatever reason, we're not able to fulfill at some point. Okay, and maybe that's what the Four of Wands is all about, kind of saying that, you know, you've tried this before, that there's an aspect of karma to this card. And maybe we've tried this before and something didn't quite work out, or it wasn't completely fulfilled. Yeah, it was short-lived. You know, that you had maybe this union, but it got cut short. Yeah. And so now it's kind of like we're beginning the quest again. But instead of it being cut short with a 4, we're looking for complete fulfillment. It's like we've been on this quest before, we've been on this journey before, you've been on this mission before, but we didn't get all the way to the end. Now we're doing it again, and we're going to get to the end here. Okay. So we've got very good major arcana energy. I love these 3 cards. In your personal life, in your human life, your current life, the Four of Wands is talking about earthly time. And it's kind of saying that, you know, whatever you've been doing is wrapping up. You've got to maybe tie off some loose ends. You've got to have some closure to a previous thing so that you can begin this new quest. Okay. Anyway, so we've got our 3 majors. We've got fire and fire. We've got water and water. We've got air and air. And a little bit of earth, right? And that little bit of earth, I think, is really just kind of saying that, look, in a very practical way, the opportunity is there. It's kind of like you're in the elevator and the button's right there. You can push the button and we can get this show on the road anytime. Okay? So the physical means of doing it, the physical like, I don't know, the switch, the button, right? The mechanical, the lever, right? To sort of get this thing going, to get the ball rolling, to sort of start the clock, is here. And as soon as you put one foot on that path, I think you become this fool and you realize that this is a holy quest for you. Okay. The Ace of Swords is down here at the bottom. And I think that this is the inner awareness. Now, I think you're somebody that has a very strong connection with spirit. Okay, I think that you can very often sort of dust off the satellite, turn up the frequency, and you can receive what spirit's trying to tell you. You know, I think usually you're very practical, but this is something where there is like, I don't know, it's almost like you feel like Spirit's sending you a telegram, and you just like, you can feel the Morse code inside of you. It's just these almost flashes that I'm seeing. And it's just kind of like, we can't ignore it. You know, there's some element of certainty or clarity or truth. There's something inside of you that you know is there, and we can't neglect it. We can't ignore it. Okay, it's your sense of truth. This is like Excalibur that's kind of saying, hey, I'm here, you have a mission, pick me up and take me in. This is the sword that the fool has to pick up, and then the fool becomes the knight. Becomes, you know, the knight of the Holy Grail, right? Becomes a questing knight. You know, it's kind of in the, you know, Percival story. Percival receives the sword and now is kind of officially made a knight and doesn't really maybe know what the quest is at the beginning, and maybe never really fully grasps the gravity of their quest. you know. And maybe that's a key here for you, that we're going forward with some lightness. We're going forward with a little bit of easiness. It's just kind of, it's a flow. It's a light-hearted energy with the Fool. It's not so serious, you know. And maybe that's the idea, that we take our sword, we go off on our quest, but we're okay with the wind blowing us a little bit. You think of Percival on his quest for the Holy Grail or whatever, and he's trying to find the Grail castle, and he's just adventure after adventure, right? All part of one particular quest. He's on this big, huge, big picture quest, but he has a lot of little adventures here and there and everywhere, right? And I think that we have to look at our life in that way too. Because sometimes we have this inner truth and we think, I've got a mission in my life. I've got this big picture life that I need to complete and to fulfill, but I keep getting these temporary cycles, and I keep getting these, I feel like a fool. I feel like I'm stumbling around in the dark, one thing after another, right? With that Sun card, we've got to try to look at everything as part of the bigger picture. Okay. Because the Four of Wands very often is those temporary things that we have to do, temporary responsibilities, or to me, kind of, it's like the daily checklist. It's like all of these things I got to check off my list. Well, they're all part of your longer plan, your bigger plan, the bigger picture. Okay. Any of the fours remind us of impermanence. So the Four of Wands is sort of a campfire, you know, that we gather some stones, we build a little circle, we get some wood, we sort of put them up in the little triangle shape, and we get a fire going, and we enjoy it, right? And for that night, that moment, we're there in the eternal here and now, just us and the campfire, and maybe we can roast some marshmallows, make some s'mores, we can dry our socks, we can dry our bones, we can rest, relax, we can sleep, we can tell stories, it's really a good time. We forget about the quest for a minute. And then, of course, morning comes and the fire's died down. We wake up, we put the fire out, we put water on it, dirt on it, we put all the stones back where we found them, we sweep away our tracks. It's like we were never there. And we get back on the horse and we just continue a little further down the road. And I kind of feel like this is it's kind of life, Sometimes in life we get involved in these human activities and we forget our spiritual life, or we forget our bigger picture, or we forget the really, really big cosmic picture of lifetimes of karma and questing, and the really big sort of universe-sized quest that we're on. It's in our eternal journey. Yeah. Our big picture journey through space and time. This is human time. I'm hoping the mystery card maybe is cosmic time, right? The Wheel of Fortune. So as much as we have this sense of the plan, or the sense of the mission itself, right? Kind of knowing with clarity, with truth, what we're about, what we're sort of meant to do, what we're supposed to do. We want to set off on this adventure, but first maybe we need the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is a card, is an energy that's always looking at the future. It's looking at the future and trying to say, okay, is that a logical, does it make sense? Does it make sense to us, right? And how do we get there, right? What does it sort of look like? How am I going to know it when I see it? We have to formulate a plan. We have to understand the sort of the chain of events. If I take this first step, what is going to cascade down, tumbling down the path of time and space, right? Toward that, well, really toward whatever end it is, whatever the culmination of this is. So in a way, we have to think of consequences. We have to think of our plan. We need to have a plan, And maybe this is the phase you're in now, is maybe it's a little bit difficult to see how we can have a plan that isn't bogged down with so many of these sort of temporary details, or, these smaller cycles or smaller knots of karma that we have to work on. That how can we ever think of the bigger picture plan, the larger plan, if we're wrapped up in the smaller things? I think this might be the work that we're involved with now. Okay, trying to see the future. The fool's moving forward without a plan. Okay, so which is the right way? Are we going to not take this step until we get the right plan? Until we're able to see very clearly the future? Well, maybe not. I guess that's up to us. That's the decision we have to make, if we're going to stay on these smaller cycles, or if we're going to get back to business, remembering our divine mission, remembering the bigger picture of why we're here, and moving forward. Even if we can't see exactly what steps to take, we know we can take the first step today, and then maybe we'll just figure it out as we go. Yeah. That's going to take us over here to the Path of the Serpent. As we talk about these cards, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free, doesn't cost anything, supports the channel. I have another channel, Dove and Serpent Bedtime Stories. Go check me out over there. 10 of Cups as your general energy. This is sort of the future that we want. This is what we can imagine is the result of all of this. It's an absolute fullness of life. It is the sort of ultimate satisfaction. It's the satisfying of all desires to the point where there aren't any more desires at all. That we have succeeded in our big cosmic mission, which is much different than just sort of accomplishing all of these little goals or getting these sort of smaller desires satisfied. Because we think of desires like in the Buddhist sense. You satisfy one desire, another one pops right up to take its place. Maybe even the same one. They're just sort of springing up. It's like whack-a-mole. But this is sort of this is that ultimate bliss that takes away every other desire. It's sort of like once you become sugar, once you become bliss, you can't taste sugar anymore. You don't have the desire to seek out those things anymore. Okay? And I feel like this is the kind of future that you want. This is the kind of success or the outcome that you're looking at. Especially when we see the Knight of Swords looking at the future. It's kind of like we know what the future is going to feel like. We're not really sure how to get there exactly. But we know that it's through this energy, through this sort of union. And maybe this is union with your purpose, union with a romantic partner, union with God, goddess, deity, guardian angel. Maybe this is sort of you and, I don't know, it could be a creative collaboration. It could be you and the family itself, right? Sometimes the Lover's card is about strengthening the family bonds. It could represent a really tight-knit family. It's the satisfaction of that desire that's going to take away every other desire, And it almost seems impossible, right? But I think this is that mission. This is that quest that you've been on, I think, for lifetimes. And I think you're here in a position where you can really fulfill this now. And noticing that the Six of Cups is in the position of what we don't want is quite interesting. Because the Six of Cups, in the context of maybe the Path of the Dove, we don't want the Six because the Six is just like a very good day. It's satisfaction at the end of the night, and it just says, well, that's good. I've satisfied my desires, and this feels good. It's almost like we don't want this because this just sort of tempts us to go back to sleep, to forget our mission. to forget what we've been pursuing through time and space for lifetimes upon lifetimes. Six of Cups, a good card. I'll take it any day. It's the best day of your life, right? But it is not a 10. It is not a complete satisfaction, a complete fullness of life. It's another temporary thing. And a lot of us sort of, we run our lives trying to always achieve the six of anything, but the Six of Cups, right? We may fall into a 5 and we may be a little disappointed trying to get back to the harmony. Things may get a little overripe, right? And I get that 7 of Cups and things, the harmony starts to sort of fade away. I got to try to bring it back. Life is nothing but a struggle to maintain the 6 of Cups. It's like when you're in meditation, when you're trying to stay concentrated, you're focusing on your breath, let's say. Your mind starts to wander, you bring it back. Your mind starts to wander, you bring it back. Life is always us trying to maintain this centeredness, this harmony, this satisfaction, but then it fades away and we got to bring it back. The mind wanders, we bring it back. We lose a little bit of our satisfaction, we've got to satisfy it again. We got to bring it back, right? So 6 is that perfection. It is that harmony. It's a balance that's impossible to maintain. But just like meditation, if you can sustain that concentration for long enough, I think we transcend it. And I think it becomes this overwhelming bliss that sort of burns out all the other seeds of karma. Okay, then maybe we're emerging as the Queen of Wands, right? Queen of Wands is an energy that looks at the past. The queens look at the past, the knights look at the future, right? So the queen's looking at the past, and I think understanding the reason for everything, understanding why you had to fight so hard in your life, understanding what you were fighting for, and why you had to sometimes sacrifice, sometimes struggle, sometimes suffer, why you had to put in so much effort and energy into things. Looking back at the fire energy, the Queen of Wands understands why the Four of Wands exists at all. Why we bother doing anything when all we really want is this spiritual journey. What's the reason for all the mundane things? I think there is a reason for all of them. To me, the Queen of Wands feels like a very enlightened person. It's a person now who is looking at the world with spiritual vision, with that fire. Yeah. I didn't mean for this to become so abstract or philosophical or mystical, but I do think that an opportunity is presenting itself to you. I think that you are you're just about to take a step, a first step somewhere. There's a little hesitation, and it's understandable. Take the step. It's part of your destiny. You're meant to do it. It's going to lead you to a very great place. Okay? Let's check in with our mystery card. What is this mystery card now? Okay. Maybe more earth energy, right? Maybe a 10 of Pentacles. Maybe just a 6 of Pentacles. Maybe a 5. But Pentacles. Yeah. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. This is 6 of Cups again. Same card, both of these. In some ways, it's kind of like before enlightenment desires, right? After enlightenment, still got the human desires, right? But it's almost as if it's different now. Maybe it's the fact that we're not slaves of those desires, that it's not just our life is just a struggle to try to maintain the harmony of the 6, maintain the balance, that maybe now it's kind of like we're still doing the same things we're doing. I still like the same things. I still like ice cream. I still like to have my desires satisfied, But maybe now it's taking on a different meaning. Maybe now we're doing it for others. Maybe now we're doing it from a place of almost a spiritual detachment. We're still human. right? I think, anyway, most of us. So, after this whole process, I think that this maybe is the true life. Maybe this is us really being of service. Maybe this is of us realizing that those desires that we had in the past are nothing compared to this. I mean, sometimes the Six of Cups especially, sometimes it's the memory. Sometimes it's how we remember something from the past a lot better than it actually was. And maybe we don't realize that until we really find something that is this kind of spiritual satisfaction and this true bliss, this true happy fulfillment of life. Then we realize we've never known happiness until we've had this. Anyway, I like it. We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link in the corner. There's one down below. New readings are twice per week for your sign. This reading doesn't replace your usual reading, so just check the channel page so you know what days your sign comes out, or you could just show up here every day and watch all the readings. That would be fine too. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Subscribe to Dove and Serpent Bedtime Stories as well. I do 1 or 2 readings a week over there. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.